This podcast is not rated. Listener discretion advised. Mission to City.
Are you sure it's, do you need to check to make sure that you're actually recording?
No, I'm seeing the little splotchies appear as I talk. You know, the little waveform
Splotchies.
Splotchies.
Yeah,
that's the right term.
And
I
that's
think
the technical
splotchies
term.
is what we're calling them from now
That's
on.
what you audio engineers call them, isn't it? Little
Yeah.
splotchies?
You guys got splotchies? You
As long
guys
as you got the splotchies,
Yeah, we got
you're good.
That's right.
Yeah,
All right.
we're over here. We're okay. We see splotchies.
Can we do this show?
Can we?
Can we? I don't know, John. Can we?
Please? I'd like to.
What are your names? That is a question.
What?
What are your names? What is the quest of this podcast? And what did you think of this movie? I think
You're
is
doing
the
it wrong. It's supposed to be what?
What's your favorite
Is your
color?
name?
I wasn't going to attempt it because I know I
is your
couldn't do it as good as Tanner
I know,
Gilliam
so
did.
you did it as your bad Sean Connery.
Yes. What is your
Sean
quest?
Connery? What?
What is your
I'm Sean Connery.
Like a
can be
Keanu
funny,
Reeves,
too.
but it's like, what is your quest?
Whoa.
Whoa, are you on a quest? What is your quest? All right, this is a hell of an opener.
This is it.
Yeah, let's scrap
You're
all
supposed to
that.
say your names. John and TC are on there. I'm
it's
Denny.
John and TC. We're just fucking off over
What
here.
we would like to do to start off is show you how not to do comedy.
Yes.
That's what we wanted. We
Right.
just wanted to illustrate
Yes.
how hard it is to do it right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. Oh, yeah.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. What year did this movie come out? 1975.
Mm-hmm.
The synopsis is King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table embark on a surreal, low-budget search for the Holy Grail, encountering many very silly obstacles. Directed by Terry Gilliam and Terry Jones. And this week it is TC's turn to review this movie first.
That actually sums pretty much right up.
It kind of does.
It's just a bunch of silliness.
Your favorite synopsis so far?
Yeah, I think so.
It is a bunch of silliness for sure. Yeah, I mean it's a funny movie, right? It's just so ridiculous.
Agreed.
Just the idea that it starts out with them not on horses but making the noise.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you see that and hear that, you go, "Oh, I remember what this is all about." Yeah, I mean it's a good movie. It really is. I mean, but you don't like the stories. It's fucking dumb.
The story
But
is
it's
just not even important at all.
The story is so not important. Right?
No,
you
it's a
don't need
collection
to
of
watch this for
sketches.
anything but the dumb skits that they're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, these guys are just unique. Is probably the only word I got for it.
Are they smart or are they idiots? It's very hard to tell.
Are they genius or are they just completely out of their minds? You find yourself watching it, not really paying attention, then all of a sudden you hear something and you're like, just burst out laughing.
Yeah.
Right? And so like there's just a lot of that pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah.
And they just get weird characters and they just talking about dumb shit.
Weird
like,
characters, yeah.
But it's funny. It's just funny. It really is. And this was a nice easy watch.
That's true.
I
Very
think is
entertaining. How many
what
times
it
have you
was for
seen
me.
this?
It's like
DC?
I think maybe once or twice.
Okay.
Not more than that. So I didn't remember much of it, but I remembered like the funny bits because they were funny then when I saw it the first time.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
What parts
Yeah,
were
I
those?
mean,
What
it's
parts
just-
stuck out to you?
the best joke I think is honestly the horse thing
Oh, really?
because they kept doing it.
Yeah.
and
Right,
it's
right.
still funny every
And then,
time.
and then they would
right?
the horses would be like nervous and they'd be like, oh, clop, 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 clop.
Yeah.
The horses are nervous.
Clop, 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 clop. And the guy that
dismount,
was
nothing.
making the noise, like they're
Yeah.
really good at the noise. They're really good at
Yeah.
it. Like it sounds like the horse is slowing down. Where he's like,
Right, right.
whoa.
Yeah,
Or like, speeding
yeah.
up when they.
Yep.
I mean, it was like, I don't know. It's just like the dumbest thing going, but it had me.
I think it's
laughing
great how it's
every
the first
time they did the
time-
joke. So
And how it's introduced the first time you have mist and it's kind of a nice sort of like gloomy and you hear the horses coming before you see that they're coconuts. And that it's just
Yeah.
is a great way to begin the whole thing where I can't even remember what it was like seeing it and getting to have that realization of the coconuts because now it's so stamped in my head that that's what happens.
And leads
Right.
to the whole swallow conversation that happens 10
I love
times throughout the movie.
That's just and it's great. That's the first thing they call out too. You got two coconuts and you're banging them together.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. But
you're just making noise. They're like, what? They're looking at him like you're crazy. What are you talking about? The filmmaking side of it, it's mostly, I think, scenery, right? Like they create these weird little worlds.
Yeah.
That's a Gilliam thing.
Mhm.
So it's not like there's there's not much to this movie, right? It's
No,
just
and
like
it
if these
felt
guys
like-
weren't good at these skits, it would
Right.
be a terrible movie.
Oh yeah. I think
know,
that
sure.
like even
Yeah.
Gilliam
It would-
and
yeah.
it on the commentary track, they were sort of commenting how they
Oh,
were
did
at the
John
time-
listen to commentary?
bits? Yes,
Bits.
a bit.
Bits. First half an hour. I gotcha.
First like 2/3 of the director and about a third of the with Cleese.
Not bad.
for
That's
the
a whole.
actors.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
That's
that's a big
that's a
hole.
whole.
Yeah.
But yeah, but they were saying how that they just felt like they were amateurs at the time and they'd done some TV stuff before, but they were just, looking back on it now, they didn't know what they were doing and they were just and everybody was like they were on a shoestring budget.
And it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It shows.
But
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
acceptable because of I don't know
It
why it's
is.
acceptable. It's kind of hard to figure out why. Because usually, shitty movies are shitty. In this movie,
No, but this one it
looks-
works, but they even did some things because they were so broke. Like they were like do things that were cheap, like let's play around with the credits because it's cheap. So they had a lot of fun with
Right.
the credits.
That makes sense though.
and end it here because we can't do a fight scene because we don't have any money left.
Right. So just
Right.
end it, and that's also funny.
Yep.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it again as I did the first time I saw it. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else other than that. Like, it's a funny ass movie. These guys are, like you said, borderline genius, but maybe just dumb. and like, it's just it's funny shit, and you don't even have to pay attention to enjoy it. So,
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah, that's true. You can just besides, it's like the comedy comes in sort of like
Yeah, you
5-minute bursts, kind of.
Sometimes
Yeah,
it really
they come in
stretches-
waves.
I found
you know?
myself laughing at like entire. Like there are scenes in this movie where I'm not laughing at all, and I kind of don't like some of the scenes. But
Yeah.
some of the scenes for the entire length of it,
Right.
I'm laughing the entire time.
Oh man, there's yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, John, it sounded
sounds
like
about
your
right.
question to TC is that you've seen this a lot of times.
I've seen it countless times.
Countless.
I think. Maybe at least like maybe 8 or 9. I don't know. It's hard to say after
You
get
can't count
past
to
a
that.
certain
You
point.
can't count that
Yeah.
high.
Can't that high.
Oh, good to know.
I would submit that this is the best comedy ever made.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's some
Huh.
words right there.
That's
I
a
know.
that's a hell of a statement.
It's not consistent all the way out, but damn, some of the stuff that's done is just so good. It's so well done. It's so perfect.
I don't think you get a lot of flack from comedy nerds saying that. I think that's
that's true. That's
yeah.
true. But
That's
I,
true. Yeah.
it's probably
You're not
fair. I
gonna
don't
get a
know.
fucking argument on
it's
that
not
one.
Right.
Maybe, but I don't know of a movie that is also that I could just keep watching and see it over and over again like this and still be very amused, if not laughing. There's just so many little touches about it. I don't know. Right. The initial coconut even the credits, like the credit scene where they're just like, yeah, some Swedish guy is going off about a moose bite. And it's
Dude,
just
I thought
great.
I forgot that, and I was trying to fix my TV because I thought I had the subtitles on in my
oh, that's
DVD.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And I was like, wait a minute. And I got a little bit through it, and it was like also Wick. And I was like, wait a
And
minute.
you're like,
Is this a joke?
Oh, yeah.
But I was like fucking with my controls, being like, what the
did
hell?
you get the DVD with the dentist episode?
the dentist
Yeah,
maybe, but I didn't.
on my DVD, there's this fake show about a dentist, the day in the life of the dentist.
The hell
And it
no.
starts the show. Yeah, it just starts it off on the DVD as if you got the wrong movie that you're watching. And you're about to watch a movie about
wow.
a day in the life of the dentist. And after like a minute, it just cuts into the regular, to the
What
Monty
the?
Python.
No, I didn't get that. That's really
Yeah.
weird.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, I think they would talk about, the actors would talk about how they did the credits that way because they were broken. It was really cheap to play around with them that way. But then also like when they showed it at Cannes, I guess, that everybody was just cracking up like crazy because they'd never seen anything like that before.
Right.
And
That
they
makes sense.
presented the credits like they're Ingmar Bergman style too. It's like there's no sound, so it's all like serious seeming. And
They were
the black and
purposefully
white.
shitting on Bergman, which is great.
Yeah. Yes.
That's awesome.
So they're
That's
like, and so
fantastic.
that's why with the Swedish, that's why they chose that particular language too, because it's like their art film language. And then they just roll with it, and then you watch the credits, and there's like Moose Trainer and stuff gets thrown into the credits along with the moose stuff. It's just, and it's fun.
And then it switches to llamas for no reason. I'm just like trying to read as
Right.
much as I could during those parts because
Right,
this is all
right.
gold right here. What the hell are they
I guess
talking about?
llamas was like a Python thing, but as they've used llamas before. But yeah, it's just that sequence is great, and then you get right into the coconuts and the argument on the castle wall about migrating swallows, and it's just
And then try to come up with ideas like maybe if you tie a string between two swallows and hang the coconut between them.
yeah. And you're right. You said this before too, like when we compare this to Life of Brian. But But what's his name is King Arthur. Graham Chapman is just so good in this. He is so good at being the sort of noble king, and with all of this going on around him, he's really glues it all together. And it's just
he looks like, I don't know, it could be his face. It's definitely the way he talks, but his face also looks like he looks like a melted Shakespearean actor or something like that. Like he looks goofy, but he plays it kind of seriously, but not the same kind of serious you'd do in a real drama.
Describe it.
No, but he carries this sort of nobility about him in the way that he talks, and and even like I love that, like his opening line. I don't know what he says about it. When he gets the line back that, are you suggesting coconuts migrate? But he's like saying, well, can't you see this in the spring or what? I don't know what he says, but he said
it could be brought somewhere.
Yeah, but he says it in this lordly way, and it's really cool. Like, what? Are you suggesting coconuts migrate? It's just great.
No, I'm not.
What? No, it just
no.
And so, I mean, just starting off there, it's like we can even like retell it, and we've all seen it multiple times. And you laugh about it. That's amazing.
It's funny.
Yeah, I was surprised.
It's true.
I was surprised at how frequently I was laughing at this movie.
I think that amazes me to no end that there's these skits in there, and my favorite. I mean, then you go to Bring Out Your Dead, which is good, right?
Which is great.
Bring out your dead.
I feel
Bring
happy.
out your dead.
Yes. Oh, you're not fooling anybody.
Can't you just help me out? Can't you just help me out with this one? He's dead. No, he's definitely dead. He's dead. He's not dead, dude. Yeah, he's dead. And he's like, I don't want to go. He's dead. Come on, put him on the cart. He's gonna die now. Okay, so let's just get this over with. That's like, it's funny.
Yeah, and then I think they said, the actor said, I heard at one point that there were no lines that were ad-libbed in the film. But then one of the actors said that that must be the king, and why is that? It's like, well, he doesn't have shit all over him. That was like an ad-libbed line. They said that was the only one that they called out.
Welcome to the world of conflicting trivia, there, John.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so
interesting.
But it was a great line. It's a great way to end that sketch. What was that?
It was.
Oh, it must be the king. Why is that? Well, he hasn't got shit all over it.
Shit all over it. Yeah.
So, man, I could go through this sketch by sketch. It's just
all right. What sketches?
Fantastic.
So let's do the good ones, I guess. I mean, the witch one is classic.
They're all good. Dennis is my favorite. I love Dennis.
Dennis,
like old man, old woman, man, and then it follows from there where he's like has this whole like political
he's trying to buy
commentary.
a shrubbery.
No, this is where he's like accosting the peasant. The peasant's saying, come see the violence inherent in the system.
Oh, yeah.
Come see the violence inherent in the system.
I'm being repressed.
Like, oh, that makes you king. Some watery tart in a lake threw you the sword. Oh, if I said that, people would think I was nuts. Just crapping on the whole King Arthur origin story. It's just beautiful.
John really likes this movie.
Yeah, he
love
does.
it. This movie is awesome. Come on. I love it. I love the whole Dennis character where he's just like, oh, what we got here is an autocracy, blah, 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 or whatever, And
his name? His name is Dennis?
Yeah, his name is Dennis.
Sometimes I do have a hard time hearing them over there.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I'm a female British person.
Oh, yeah.
I know. But
the voices are so ridiculous.
His pseudo-wife says, come here, Dennis. There's some lovely muck over here.
Some lovely filth.
Be quiet. I order you to be quiet. Bloody peasant. Oh, look, there it is. It just irritates him to the point where he starts calling him slurs, and then he gets all excited. Look at that. There it is. There's the oppression. It's so beautiful. So, yeah, I think the Dennis skit is probably, although there are others that I've come to sort of love, I think, because there's just these little touches that are added that you can really start noticing after you've seen them a number of times. Like when Lancelot is besieging the castle, that whole sequence where first like he keeps, there's the son there. I think that's one of the Terrys. It's not Gilliam.
That was Terry Jones.
That was Terry Jones.
Yeah.
Terry Gilliam is the squire.
Right.
And a number of other things. But Terry Jones was great but what I loved is how they kept getting their names wrong. Because he the father called the son by the wrong name. And first the son calls him mother, and he has to, and they just they correct each other like it's this happens all the time. But mother, father, right? And I don't know, that whole
so
sequence
stupid.
But it's
so
fantastic.
It's so dumb.
It's just amazing. Where
wouldn't it be funny if instead of saying father, he said mother? Why would he do that? Doesn't matter. Wouldn't that be funny?
No, it's just funny, and it just shows how silly the whole thing is. and then just even then, like just to have, there's some little touches that are in, like when he's ordering the two knights to stay and guard, it would not have come off nearly so well if the other guard didn't have the hiccups.
Yes. Oh my God, dude. That was one of the scenes I was mentioning where the entire time that scene was happening, I was laughing throughout the entire thing.
Well, there's no reason that other guard has to have hiccups, but he does, and it makes everything else so much more funny.
Yeah, that is true. It's such a little thing, and it really, accents
the noise he makes is pretty funny too. The way he has the hiccups.
Yeah, well, he hiccups and he like jumps up in the air every time. But because he could have just had him and Palin. Was it Palin or Idol? It was Idol, I think. But him and Idol just doing the argument, like you stay here. If it had just been the one guard, you could have done that skit. And there's no reason why you need to have two guards. And there's no reason why that second guard has to have hiccups. But it's so beautiful that that's the way they did it. I love that. I mean, so that. I just loved watching, and then the whole Lancelot just savaging everybody. And
dude, the hardest I laughed while watching it this time was the scene you were about to, or you started to describe it when like he was running towards the castle, and it was like the drums like and
it takes forever.
And it cuts back to the guys, and they're just like chewing food, and it cuts back to him, and he's where he was at the beginning of the last shot, and then eventually he just pops out, and goes ha, and just like stabs the dude in the chest.
Yeah,
laughed
and the other guy's like, wait a minute, hey,
and then he just goes around and starts slaughtering everybody at the wedding.
Yeah, the whole wedding party. I think it's just
turns around when he's going up the stairs and like hits the lantern with his sword too.
He gets up there and the father and him are like, oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
It really is so dumb.
And he starts going wild again. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm ready. He's like hanging out the window. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. On his noise he makes when he falls.
There's something funny. Great. Just every single time about the way that they impersonate women's voices.
Yeah.
In all Monty Python stuff. They all do it perfectly.
Right.
I think I don't know. Is that offensive?
But it's also
days?
just like a made up. It's like, no, it's a made up voice, right?
Yeah.
No one actually sounds like that.
Yeah.
No,
like they've got some weird comedic viewpoint on every little thing in the world, including like a woman's voice, right? Like that's how they hear it. When they hear them talk, that's how they hear it.
No, when real women come on, they seem quite sensible, like the witch scene sort of.
True.
That's another great one. And apparently there's one where, which is the guy that he's got the scythe, he bites the scythe when they're like the villagers and they're yelling, burn her! And Cleese is just going nuts. And he's biting the scythe because he's trying not to laugh.
Yeah, that was Eric Idle, right?
That was Idle, yeah. He was. I wondered why he was doing that. I thought he was doing it for some character reason, but then I watched the commentary. They're like, see, he's trying not to crack up because John Cleese would like change the timing every time they redid the scene.
And that take was the best one because he waited the longest.
Yeah,
lines.
Exactly. Because they were like, whoa.
It was just like the Life of Brian thing when what's his name? Was it? I forget who it was, but the guy who played Brutus or whoever the fuck it was, who was doing that weird lisp thing where he couldn't pronounce his O's or whatever the fuck it was.
Right.
And he would just do long pauses and try to like, people would try
just
not
to
to
get
laugh.
everybody to crack up. Yeah. Man, it's really good.
And you heard about John too, how like hard it was to make this movie and how everyone kind of hated working on it the entire time.
Yeah.
Very strange.
A slog, and there was a lot of tension.
Does not come across somehow.
No. Yeah, no, these guys are just, but they're still, I mean, they're professional. They're just good at this. They're really, really good at it. And they're not just goofing off and being silly and seeing what sticks. Like they've really thought about it.
Yeah.
And are trying to pull it off, oddly enough.
It's true. There's some weird shit. That's what they come up with,
Oh, yeah, the whole Black
It's literally,
Knight
no one else
scene.
could do it like that. No one else could do that.
Yeah, and
besides
to pull
that
it
group
off,
of people. Right.
Like the whole Black
No
Knight
way.
scene is fantastic. Like the fighting at first is really vicious seeming. And that's John Cleese and
Gilliam.
and Terry Gilliam actually fighting. And that's really well done. And then you get to the sort of like chopping off of the arms and legs. Just the stubborn knight. It's great.
Oh, did you see the other conflicting piece of information from that scene?
Oh, no. Was it? Oh, well, I heard that Cleese said that was all him except at the very end. Was that it or no?
Well, so during the director's one, so they actually hired a guy who was a silversmith that had one leg for the scene when that knight only had one leg because he could hop around more
I didn't know about that.
I guess.
Yeah.
But then
Cleese said it was a stunt guy who was better at hopping than he was.
It's because the guy only had one leg and he was used to it.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
But so Gilliam also said that, but then when he was in the ground, he was like, yep, we put the the stunt guy in the ground too, because it was cheaper because we only had to dig one hole because he only had one leg. But then at the end of John Cleese's commentary track,
Right,
he says
that's
that he
me.
was in the ground.
Yeah. Controversy.
Conflicting trivia.
Yeah, Cleese seemed to like to point out when he was doing something. But whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of, would you want to know too? It is good trivia because I didn't know who that was in there.
I know. And these guys this seemed to be recorded pretty recently comparatively. It seemed like this had been done quite some
It was
time
after
the film.
89 at least because Graham was dead. So
Yeah, Graham wasn't with him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
bummer.
Oh, man. It is because he's so great in it. While not being the funny one, necessarily. I mean, he's not necessarily the focus, but he's kind of like the straight man. But yeah.
He only has 4 credits. He was his credits in this one are King Arthur, Voice of God, Middle Head, and Hiccuping Guard.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was
Middle
the
head.
guard.
He was the Hiccuping Guard, yeah.
The middle head of the 3-headed knight.
Yeah.
And God was fantastic. Oh, get up every time. It's like, I'm sorry, Lord, this and forgive me that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that you've seen this more than 8 or 9 times, John.
I know.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
probably have.
He
but
knows it
it's-
in and out. I'm like, I don't even remember that part.
Yeah. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. Dude, my dad made me watch, or didn't make me watch this. He snuck this movie to me when I was probably 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
My mom made him fast forward one of the scenes. Can you guess?
Well, I imagine that's the temptation scene.
That would be
right?
the guess that would be the
Although-
most correct, but the incorrect answer.
The bloody rabbit scene might have been the other one because that's pretty scary. There's a lot of real gore there, it seems.
It was the second half of the bloody rabbit scene where they were making
Yeah.
fun of reading out of the Bible or whatever, the hand grenade
God,
instruction
really?
manual. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Because they're trying to raise me religious a little bit, and apparently it's too accurate. Being like, take forth the holy hand grenade and pull the pin out. 3 seconds, not 2, not 4 seconds.
Yeah.
All that
so
stuff
that it
is
shall
just...
blow it thy foes into bits in thy mercy.
It's like
great.
ridiculous, but it's pretty accurate. Same thing with the monks walking by and doing that EAA Sudornia and hitting themselves in the
smacking
head.
himself in the
It's like that is silly, but pretty close to what actually happens.
Yeah. That's funny.
Do you guys have one of you bring something up? I'll be right back.
So did you see
John,
this
you
in
know
the-
everything.
Yeah. Did you see this in the theater when it came out, or probably not? You were too old.
No way. No, and my parents weren't big fans of this stuff, so I think I just saw it. Honestly, I saw it on like a rerun of some like one of those TBS things.
Oh wow!
It was like a late night. Yeah, they had it like for some, I don't know, maybe during the holidays or something. That's when I first saw it, and then I watched it. I watched it when I was in college because other people that were comedian fans were watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, and I didn't remember most of it, to be honest. But again, it's because you don't really have to watch it.
No.
So like you can forget something and just watch it again. It's still funny. So
yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. No, it was
Guys,
nice. I kind of.
sorry.
Oh, what? Go ahead. You're back.
I did something I don't think I've ever done before while watching this movie.
What?
I didn't take any notes when I watched it.
Oh no!
That's good.
Oh
You
wow!
were enjoying yourself.
I
That is
enjoyed
good.
it. And also I realized that very early on in the movie, I was like, notes would not help at all. Like, I'm not going to bring up plot points and be like, why do you think King Arthur...
You can't do your usual Denny.
Yeah.
Explain to me this, guys.
Yeah, let's figure out the plot here. I got some questions in the plot, guys.
That's
Was
right.
the math accurate for the, Australian swallow airspeed velocity
Right.
thing?
I don't think it was. I've
No,
checked the
couldn't have
wiki,
been.
and
No.
it doesn't seem that was accurate.
I wikied how heavy an actual swallow was, and it's not 5 ounces, it's fraction of an ounce. So they got that wrong. All right, let's start there.
Nice?
Yeah, you're all of a sudden Cliff Clavin from Cheers.
Yep,
He's like,
yep.
Cliff Clavin.
got a factoid for everything.
Oh yeah, that's the post,
from
post
Cheers.
office
He's
guy.
The,
at
the
Cheers.
post office guy. Yeah. Every
Yeah.
time that someone says something, he goes, well, Sam, actually what's happening there? And then he goes into some factoid that's not real. Like, that's what he does.
Any other scenes you want to talk about, John? I get a shit ton of trivia, and you probably do too.
I'll probably just I'll probably fill in some of the trivia as I can remember. But no, that was. I think we covered most of them.
What scenes were not good?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if there were some scenes that were not good.
I didn't like the Temptress castle scene.
Oh, at all?
Not really.
I like, can't I have a little peril? Nope, too perilous.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like that line from the end, but no, the rest of it is that you're right. That's just more like cheap comedy kind of stuff. Oh, they're sexy ladies and he's not supposed to have sex. Haha.
And also, I mean, they even point out, I find it very strange that they are somewhat self-aware that the scene is not very good, because towards the end, they're like, should we end this scene now? Is it gone on too long? I'm like, yes. And then they keep going. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought I don't get it.
That's fair.
Seemed like I was being trolled by the Monty Python crew.
Maybe. But you're right. I think that one's probably, that didn't have much laughs in it.
Yeah. That was pretty much it. I don't know. Trying to think of other things. The song part, the Camelot was...
That's just okay.
It was okay, but like the line when he's like, on second thought, let's not go to Camelot. 'Tis a very silly place.
It's a silly place. Yeah, then that works.
Yeah.
They transition well. That is kind of what's nice. But whether it's the Gilliam's cartoons or it's just they're able to like transition out in a funny way, in a way that sort of wraps it up very nicely. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Gilliam's cartoons.
Oh, really?
I don't think overall, like in any of these movies for some reason, they're really weird. And they take a long time, some of them. Like the one where the guy's walking down the stairs to go shut up the sun and clouds, like jumping up and down.
And he just like, that does, like, you didn't need to necessarily do that, but that sort of adds to the comedy, supposedly. You're right. It does take that one.
Is it supposed to?
No, I agree, though. It did take a little while. He's walking down like 4 floors.
And then he falls, and then he makes it all the way down quicker because he falls somehow.
Yeah. So, but maybe they're just taking up time because they know they don't have much of a budget. So.
Nope. Like we're gonna run out of footage here, guys. We're gonna have to make some filler, and Gilliam works for cheap.
Right. One piece of trivia I heard that I might forget, so I'll say it now, is that because we've heard before how like George Harrison funded some of these films, and one thing the directors brought up is that it was part of a tax avoidance strategy. Mm-hmm. I mean, they did it because they wanted to fund good things, but they were also like apparently the taxes were pretty high on the ultra rich in Britain at the time. And so you had these rock stars like Led Zeppelin and the Beatles that were trying to find ways to sort of put their money somewhere else so they wouldn't have to pay so much tax. And funding films was one way to do it.
Yeah, and this one also Genesis and you said Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd was the other one.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool. Damn. I guess like they went around, they got 10 artists to donate 20,000 English dollars, whatever they were, pounds at the time. The budget was 200,000 pounds, which is about $400,000. Which is not very much.
Wow.
Even for back in the 60s.
Not much at all.
Yeah.
No.
And it made about $5 million box office.
Yeah, good for them.
It's good. Made them popular in the United States, which they weren't really before. Did you get to the part where they talked about the score they made for this movie?
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool because I noticed how much I liked the music. And I thought, wow, it's just like perfectly crafted for this. It's great. And I got to hear them talk about how apparently they hired a pretty good a guy who wanted to do like an authentic score, and so he wrote that. They paid him to do it, and they didn't like it. It didn't like it like sort of took away.
Yeah, it wasn't goofy enough. It was like sincere and good. It was too good.
It was too serious.
Yeah.
And so
like, dude, we got stuff we got clip clops of coconuts, dude.
Right.
I don't need fucking Hans Zimmer right now.
They were thinking like they would do like authentic, and they would use authentic instruments for the time and have a real medieval score for the whole thing. And so because of that, then they were like screwed because they couldn't like pay him to do something else.
Or pay anybody to do anything else.
They didn't have any budget left.
So all the music then is like archived music from some library somewhere that they could just reuse. So it turned out that this is all like
free
sounds. Kind of like
free.
or cheap. Yeah. Was it royalty free? Like they were going just go.
They didn't say specifically, but I figured
that type of situation.
Yeah. So that's even that's
pulling
even
from
cooler.
a CD
because I like that dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
and that was
pretty
great.
glorious.
It was perfect. Yeah.
I wonder what other movies that thing has been in.
I don't know.
Nothing good, I guess. Nothing with an actual budget.
But
or nothing that the song would match to.
Yeah.
It's like you can match it to this shit because it's so dumb.
The first shot they shot while filming the movie was at the Bridge of Death, or the Death Bridge, or whatever you want to call it. And Graham Chapman was like a pretty hardcore alcoholic at the time. And they had to hike up with all this equipment. And he was like sobering up during the day, like right before shooting. And he tried to find, like there was nowhere near where they were shooting that sold alcohol. So he was without alcohol. And he usually drank before takes because it eased his nerves. So that's why he kind of gave up on drinking like later on in his life. But towards the beginning of Monty Python, he
At
used
the time,
alcohol
he
as a
was getting
crutch.
hammered.
He was getting
Yeah,
hammered.
That's
yeah.
right.
And he was crossing the that bridge there, which was like a safe bridge, but it looks pretty sketchy. I mean, you could fall off of it, but it's like, it's not going to collapse on you, I guess. He just started shaking, like he couldn't stop shaking and sweating.
Oh.
And they had to like pull
Oh,
him off,
God.
and they had
man,
to
he's
get a
got
crew
the
member
Tremens or whatever.
Like withdrawals kind of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had to get
poor
him
dude.
actually crossing the bridge is a crew member. It's not any of the Monty Python people.
Wow.
Because he couldn't do
And
it.
that was
Poor
the
bastard.
first day of the shoot.
Oh,
And actually,
God.
the first take one, scene one, the
And your actor, your star goes into withdrawals.
so that happened later on in the day. The very
Cool,
first take,
yeah.
the camera's synchronizer, the thing that syncs the audio up to the video, broke on the first
Oh.
shot of the entire movie. So they had to shoot that entire day without any sound, basically. So they did a lot of long shots of them walking across the bridge and all that stuff.
Oh, so you wouldn't see him talking.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Lots of things didn't go very well.
Jesus.
People got really mad at each other during the filming of this movie. There was a scene, the Bring Out Your Dead scene, where I think it was Michael Palin was called the Mud Eater, and he was on the
Right.
ground, and he was literally eating mud during the
But
takes.
some of it was like chocolate or something.
Jesus.
Like there was like some mud there that wasn't quite mud that he could eat, but it wasn't clear which one was
Well, it
which.
was mixed. Yeah, it was mixed with the real mud because that was a real village, and there was
Right.
they said there was pig shit and piss everywhere in the mud.
Yeah.
And he was eating it, and they did like 14 takes of it, and he had an outburst. He started screaming because Terry Gilliam was the guy directing that scene, and he would focus on camera placement and background and like not the comedy parts. People kind of got mad at Terry Gilliam because on the days he would direct, they kind of alternated days, Terry Jones and Terry Gilliam.
Oh, and it was like a different experience for the
Yes.
actors.
Because Terry Jones would focus
Ah,
only on the comedy. Like he wouldn't care what anything else looked like. As long as he got the funny stuff on the camera, that's what he needed to get. Terry Gilliam, on the other hand, would
wow.
piss the actors off, being like, they would call cut in the middle of a take because, I don't know, the
The
smoke
lighting
got
wasn't
in the way.
right.
The lighting wasn't
there was
right.
too much smoke. Right. Yeah.
Really angered people.
I noticed like it seemed like Terry would stop talking for quite some stretches during the commentary.
Which Terry?
I don't know if the Gilliam.
Gilliam.
Like, it seemed like he would. I don't know. As a couple of times, it seemed like the other Terry was asking Terry a question and got no answer.
Maybe he didn't want to go over it or
Shit.
something.
Yeah,
Felt
yeah,
bad
maybe.
about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the one and only time that he co-directed and also directed anything Monty Python related. He went off to do like his own thing
Oh,
after
man.
this. But it's not like he didn't know. I mean, he made Brazil and he made Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Those movies are awesome.
Yeah. He's and
but
12
visual.
Monkeys.
And 12 Monkeys, yeah. But yeah,
Huh.
all very visual. So I guess that kind of makes sense. He just needed to do his own thing.
Yep.
A lot of the shots had like skeleton crews. Like you'd have the cameraman, you'd have one sound guy, and you'd have whoever was on the screen, basically. There's no, I don't know if you needed this back then, but like the food stuff, the trailers, places to get warm, none of that shit.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Didn't exist
Yeah.
for this movie.
No luxuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they filmed most of it in Scotland, and it was kind of out in the middle of nowhere. The place they stayed for most of it had a limited amount of running hot water. So they would, in like group scenes, they would literally race each other back to the hotel or wherever. I don't know if it was like an Airbnb or what. Airbnb? A B&B, a regular B&B.
Uh-huh. A regular B&B.
Yeah, but
Got
they would
it.
race each other there to get hot water because they were freezing because it was wet and they were wearing wet wool all day, standing around in mud in like cold
Oof.
Scotland.
Oh, shit.
So they didn't like that.
Right.
The scene where they dump shit on Graham Chapman. How Graham Chapman looks really
Oh,
mad.
Was that actually shit?
He was really mad.
Oh,
He hated
God.
doing that. And he had to do it a bunch of times.
Damn.
One of the scenes where John
Damn.
Cleese lost it was when Terry Gilliam called cut in the middle of a shot because the sunlight, he wanted to start the take over because the sunlight got really good in the middle of the take. So then John Cleese just started screaming at him.
Oh, man.
And this is before they were like world famous, I'm glad they finished it and continued doing it, but from the sounds of the stories from behind the scenes, it sounded like a miserable experience. It's like everyone's least favorite movie. And a lot of people think it's because they can only remember their experience of making it. Like they can't see the movie for what it is. They
Right.
can only remember
Wow.
the experience
Damn.
of making it.
The terrible time it was
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, listening to the actors talk, they didn't really dwell on that too much. I mean, they were very polite about it and just sort of tried to seemingly like focus on the parts of why they thought something was funny, but it was subdued. The actor's commentary was, and that might explain why it was a little subdued.
You'd think with those
all
three,
they could remember was all that shit. That
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They're just trying to be civil, going, this thing made us who we are, in terms of our, all of our money and so forth. So we, not that, I mean,
And there's at least
the TV show and stuff, but they were still successful.
there's at least one of them sitting there too, going, "I fucking hate this guy."
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Do you
They're
think?
sitting there, this is
Well,
the
the Pythons all
sure,
got
come
along.
on.
They had the direct. So the two directors had a separate commentary that was a whole separate track from the actors. So they had one.
Yeah, so there you
track with
go.
the
well,
right? So, right, they
technically,
weren't
the
even-
directors are also actors.
Right, that's true. Sorry, but yeah, the
True.
people that were directing it, particularly again, Gilliam apparently was the
Gilliam,
one that
I think, is the biggest pain in the ass.
Yeah,
you
it
guys
sounds
saw
like
that.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
well,
just-
have you
he's
seen him
just-
too? Right in that movie he did, the documentary where they the Don Quixote one, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 Just screaming and yelling and melting down, and
Oh, really? Oh,
it would not be easy working for him when he's pissed. He's fucking nuts.
Yeah. It's hard to talk badly about someone who's made some of my favorite movies, but his movies in the past 20 years
Right.
have all been pretty bad. And I've seen all of them except for the Don Quixote movie that came out this year. But I don't know. Could just be he's like losing it. He's losing it and he's frustrated or something. I don't know.
yeah,
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
He's
Yep.
like a perfectionist, and it's hard to get it exactly right, and then it just goes nuts. There's just too many things at play, and then it's just
Plus
not,
his budgets
not
are going down because his movies are getting fucking weird and no one wants to
Right.
like pay for it anymore.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
No good.
Yeah, he did. 12 Monkeys was good.
Yeah.
Time Bandits was weird but good.
It's pretty strange.
Or the Count Baron Munchausen, that was also weird but good.
Jabberwocky, weird, but decent. You've seen Brazil, I assume.
Yeah, Brazil's great.
Brazil is awesome. Love that movie.
Probably my favorite movie of his.
I would tie it with Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That movie's awesome too.
That is really good too. That's a pretty fun movie.
Most of the castle shots were one single castle they shot at different angles because that's the only castle they could get the rights to film on.
Oh man.
Yeah, a lot of the castles in the background were like 12-foot tall cardboard cutout, two-dimensional, flat, fake castles.
Huh.
And I think, yeah, it's Terry Gilliam's character at one point. He's like, it's just a model or whatever the hell he says.
Yeah, it's just a model.
Yeah.
Yep.
So to further drive home the point of how low budget this movie was, the scene where they were like, turning the pages of the book to drive the story, they didn't originally plan to drive the story that way, but, because they didn't have the money to film those scenes, they figured they could just draw them. And it was filmed on Terry Gilliam's living room floor.
Right, and that was
That
like his
scene,
wife's
really?
hand.
It was his wife's hand, and the
What?
monkey's hand was Terry Gilliam's hand he bought at a joke costume store. It's just like a monster hand he bought for like
and
$1.
I didn't even notice.
I never noticed that.
the one thing I didn't notice I think I noticed for the first time this time watching is how at the end of the first time that they're showing the woman's hand flipping the book, the monster's starting to come in to grab her hand.
He grabs her hand, yeah. And then the next time they go to the book, it's the monster.
It's just the monster.
Yeah.
So it's there's this whole then you can imagine what must have happened then. Like that she got eaten or something by the monster, and now the monster's still reading the book.
Yes.
So that was good.
They shot that Camelot musical number in one day, the entire thing, one day. They said it was complete chaos. They didn't have the song written by the time they were filming it, so they had nothing
Get
to
the
like go
fuck
against.
out of here.
Yeah.
Really?
They had like the lyrics and stuff,
Holy
but they didn't
shit.
have a song. So like they just danced randomly to a tempo. And then they threw the song in there afterwards and they had all these animals everywhere. They said it was like one of the hardest days of the shoot because they didn't know what they were doing.
Wow.
And they had no
it came
plan.
together pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fix it in
that-
post.
What is it? The Trojan rabbit was real. That was a real thing. And they actually dropped it 150 feet from a large crane to get that shot where it smushes one of the little helper guys there. And they didn't know what was going to happen. They could only do it once because they figured it would break and they didn't have a second rabbit.
Shit.
So they just filmed it and they're like, whatever happens, it's going in the movie. So
Wow.
yeah, didn't look too bad for,
No.
low budget movie.
These guys really were just kind of like fucking going by the seat of their pants.
They were. Yeah, one of the funniest like lines of inspiration, I guess, was Terry Jones saying, "I don't know how people become directors because I think the only way you could learn how to be a director is by being a director. So you have to get lucky, direct a movie, and figure it out, and either make it or not."
Oh, and you've got to do a bunch of shitty attempts, I'm
Yeah.
sure, too.
Unless-
learning how to talk to an
Yeah.
actor, learning how to like stay on schedule, learning how to deal with like all the people that are in movies that are nuts because we're all, everyone's crazy. This is why they went into movies. They couldn't do an office job.
They're all egomaniacs.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, and you got to deal with those kind of peoples, and everyone's a personality, and then like that guy's in charge. Like, Jesus Christ, I can't even imagine. I'd never be able to do it.
That is true.
Yeah, you're not dealing with the most normal, like polite people like you do in corporate that are passive aggressive.
That's why you got to be like Gilliam and be the most crazy out of everybody. And that way,
well, he's aggressive, right? That's true.
Yeah, well, they'll all listen to you.
And if you just yell louder, they'll shut up.
They will. The Knights Who Say Knee, that entire scene was filmed in one day.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, nobody shoots an entire scene in one day. No movie does with like a real budget, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you got no budget,
with a real budget.
We're here for today, guys.
Yeah, if we don't get it, that's it.
Yeah,
all right, be funny.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, right.
The guy who played the main knight the Knights Who Say Knee or whatever, the knight who says knee, during the readings, they used to they'd have table reads and try to figure out the funniest parts. The way they wrote comedy it was kind of split between was it Cambridge and some other college? Oxford, there you go. And they were split in two groups. The Oxford group was supposedly the more creative types, and they come up with the weird visual gags. And the Cambridge people were the John Cleese and verbal jokes and things like that. And the way they voted for skits is they would all they'd all write things, and then they'd present them and they'd vote on them. If the majority said it was funny, then they'd use it. And if the majority said it wasn't funny, they would get rid of it. And there was no like judgment there.
Yep.
Which is a great way to do it. I guess
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
but your point was going to be that was like
collaborative.
The night scene, you say need that one was like the one that got the most laughs out of anything at the reading table.
Yeah, and you heard this part of the commentary.
Yeah,
because they could see his face apparently, and whoever, it's either Michael Palin or Eric Idle. They look the same when they have beards on. But it was one of those two, and he didn't like it how they couldn't see his face. I don't know about that, though. I thought the way he was moving his beard around inside that helmet was pretty damn funny.
Well, it was pretty funny. You're right.
Yeah. So could just be, the hardest they laughed was the first time they saw it, and it wasn't exactly the same as that or something. I don't know. They spent most of the budget on the costumes. That's where most of it got sunk.
Good costumes.
Yeah, pretty good costumes. Only one chainmail in the entire movie, though.
Oh, right. They said it was cotton. Otherwise, it was like...
It was, painted wool sweaters.
Yeah,
basically.
painted wool sweaters, yeah.
And it looks pretty good. I was noticing that after hearing that. If you look at like Terry Jones with the knight with the flappy helmet, you can see it's just silver paint on a sweater. But like if you don't look at it, it looks pretty good.
Interesting. I don't think I noticed.
Yeah. Oh, this is the grossest thing. You didn't get to the end of the director commentary?
No.
So one of the first scenes they filmed was the French guy on the top of the tower, both at the beginning and the end of the movie. While I don't know why Terry Gilliam did this, but while it was like towards the beginning, first month of shooting, he was driving down the street and he found the carcass of a sheep on the side of the street, and he thought, "Hey,
what?
I'm going to take this and put it in my car, and we're going to use it for the movie." So he drove this apparently very smelly and disgusting dead, rotting sheep to the set of the movie, and he got like this guy. He knew how to like gut and take the guts out of a sheep, and the guy did it. And so they had like this gutless sheep carcass, and it's in the movie. They throw it on top of Graham Chapman in the scene at the end where they've reached like the castle where the Grail is and the French guy's there again. The first thing they throw on top of him is the carcass of a dead sheep.
What the fuck?
It's disgusting.
That is so gross.
I had no idea that's what it was because you can't tell. I'm sure Graham Chapman only let them do it once. I would imagine. I don't know that for sure, but
you guys get one take and that's it.
But you couldn't tell what it was. It just looked like a wet pile of trash or something like that. I couldn't tell what it was until they pointed it out, and you're like, "Oh, gross, man! Why?
That's so weird."
Yeah, it didn't even like come across, so it was totally not worth it. They could have thrown anything at him. It would have been the same.
Who comes up with that when they drive by a dead carcass? You know what? That would be great.
Yeah,
dude.
Like,
what?
Pretty strange. And then also getting the guy, and it smelled terrible. And he like also talking Graham Chapman. He's like, "We're gonna throw this on." He was like, "Fuck no, dude! It smells so bad." Yeah,
it's dead.
Where did you find it? I found it on the side of the street. No.
Can we get a replica that's fake? Anyone? We're in fucking movies here.
Can we just get like a sheepskin and just color it red?
I feel like they sell these things without the carcass.
Yeah. Can we at least run it through a dishwasher or something? Come on.
Anyway, hey, is there a PA here that wouldn't mind helping me out? At least try to find something that's not dead and rotting. Fuck Christ.
Oh, man.
I guess maybe that's why they just got in line with. That's when Terry Gilliam, the whole fucking crew shuts up and they do their job.
I guess.
They don't want to be on the set any longer than they have to be with this guy.
Yeah.
He's going to come back with fucking some kind of carcass and throw it on you. Like, let's get the fucking day done, people. Stay on task.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit.
Not surprised they didn't go under him again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They screened it 13 times before the final edit was made. And they said the score was the biggest casualty of that process, but they also learned, and they took this through everything else later, that the very first time they screened it, they had the score, and the score was underneath the jokes. And even before they took out the score entirely, they removed the score from the parts with the punchlines, like entirely. So there was no music at all during the supposedly funniest parts.
Oh.
And the amount of laughter went up, like, significantly.
Huh.
Because
They weren't distracted.
Right. Yeah. It made it seem, I don't know, I guess it focused it more or something. I don't know, but it kind of makes sense.
Right. There's nothing auditory but the joke to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that might be all I have on this movie.
Yeah.
I would recommend the commentary tracks, John. Would you too?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not like necessarily real engaging. And I think like hearing about how prickly things were on the set, it sort of then you can kind of understand why everybody's kind of like a bit polite about it, the whole thing. They're just,
It's a nice way to say it. Yeah. I didn't even think that's what was going on, but that makes sense.
talking passionately about it. Like it would be nice to hear if they just, really going off about how much fun they had or whatever, but they're not. And that's because they all hated it.
Yeah. But they all love it
So-
because it made their entire lives. So
Right.
it's got to be a
Well,
weird
and
relationship with it.
Yeah. So that's got to be, and then it's got to be strange to be asked to do the commentary, and to be like, okay, all right.
Wait, I got to talk about this movie still? Come on.
But I thought there's a lot of interesting stuff to hear, regardless. Even so,
There is. Oh, I wanted to do this. They mentioned in I forget which commentary track it was in, but they listed off a bunch of the first names they had before they came up with Monty Python.
oh yeah,
Did you hear that
yeah.
part?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, they were pretty weird names.
Yeah, I would have had to write them down to remember.
You ready for this?
Mhm.
Owl stretching time, the toad elevating moment, a horse, a spoon, in a bucket, Vaseline review, bun, whack-it, buzzard, stubble, and boot.
What?
I think they were going to go with that, but the BBC told them no.
Yes. You're like, that is nonsense. And you're like, correct.
That you're gonna make nonsense. We don't need the name to be nonsense too.
How about Flying Circus?
Like-
Sure. Makes more sense, I guess.
Because who would even remember that last one? It'd be hard to remember
Bun,
that one.
whack-it,
period.
buzzard, stubble, and boot. 1, 2, 3, 4,
That's
5.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Nope.
I guess.
That's a no. Hard pass.
That's a hard no.
Yep.
That is all I have. This is the last. Isn't
All
that
right.
weird? There's only like 2 Monty Python movies on here. I feel like their legacy is a lot bigger than just 2 very good movies.
Yeah, we got all these fucking 1920 fucking black and white
Yeah.
silent bullshits, and we can't get something funny in there.
I know.
For the life of us.
Are there any
'cause
more
this
comedies on this
fucking
list?
Is terrible.
Are there any more comedies on this list?
These
Like
people that
actual
choose this
comedies?
list
Yeah.
don't like to
Interesting.
laugh, Denny.
Is
Clearly.
this like the highest rated comedy?
It might be. Let's see.
Interesting.
Jesus.
That's 12 Angry Men. That's a comedy, right? Fight Club is a
Yeah.
comedy.
Well, there's a little bit.
Forrest
of humor
Gump's
in
a
there.
comedy.
Yeah, it's a lighthearted.
Life is Beautiful. Is that a comedy?
No.
I don't know. It's about
Have you seen
laughing.
that?
I have. It's about laughing your
about
life
laughing.
away.
It's about laughing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dr. Strangelove.
that's-
That's a comedy.
that's definitely a comedy.
It's a dark comedy.
Very, very
though.
dark one, but still a comedy.
Yeah.
Definitely a comedy.
The Great Dictator might be a comedy. I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's supposed to be. I think
Yeah.
nothing's funnier than Hitler.
It's true.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 1, kind of comedies?
Yeah.
I don't.
Maybe.
I don't think that's the genre they would apply to that
there's
one.
Toy Story
Yeah.
1's definitely pretty funny. Yeah. So
Snatch?
There's yeah.
I don't know if they
Like,
consider
that's
it
an
like
action.
a full comedy.
Snatch might be an action comedy.
And that's only 2 movies away.
though.
So there's some comedies. I guess not straight up silly comedy, though.
Yeah.
But I mean, how
Yeah.
many have there been besides this and Life of Brian on the list? Those are the only 2 like silly.
That's
Comedy
true.
movies.
That's no.
And if you say Groundhog
Seriously.
Day, then no, and I will find you and slap you.
Did you know Groundhog Day has a sequel and it's a virtual reality game?
I did, and it got pretty good reviews.
It did.
I thought about getting it, but then I remembered that I hate that movie more than most other movies.
Hate that
so then I
movie.
didn't.
Yeah, I was like, how is it you would hate that fucking game?
Yeah.
Oh man,
There's no way.
I can't believe you've seen the movie, now live it.
Yeah. Do you want to see Bill Murray do annoying stuff again? Here you go.
Maybe you can stalk women so you can get them in bed.
That'd be a pretty interesting premise for a VR game. That's for sure.
Yep.
And don't worry, there's Hitler.
And Hitler. Speaking of Hitler, you know what movie we're watching next week?
Oh no.
Inglorious Bastards.
What is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
2009, Quentin
Hell yeah.
Tarantino. In Nazi-occupied
down.
France during World War II, a plan to assassinate Nazi leaders by a group of Jewish U.S. soldiers coincides with the theater owner's vengeful plans for the same. I think I read that pretty poorly.
yeah.
Good job, huh? Good job, me.
Yeah, I mean, for you,
That was a
you did
great.
all right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one, though.
For me, far and low. Good job.
That's right.
All right, that's all I got. What do you guys?
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Good.
Want to talk
No,
about
that's
anything
it.
else?
Would you put it in the
guys,
top
you're
250? I don't think so.
Watching oh, there you go. Yeah, good
Yes, you
question,
would.
TC.
Oh yeah.
I would. John would.
What's that?
I can say John would.
Yes.
I know. I would.
Wait,
I would too. Yeah.
What's a better comedy than this? Big Lebowski.
I would think that Big
But
Lebowski is
that's
comparable,
different.
but totally different. Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to.
They
This
are,
is
yeah.
a unique.
like
That's what I
that
said,
movie
they're
has
so unique.
polish, and I care about the characters and the plot.
Right.
This one's
Right.
not about the visuals or the plot.
Right.
or the
It's not.
editing or
Right.
any of
It's
that.
it's about just comedy.
And the badness of the editing
Yep.
or not badness, but like the amateurness of the editing and the way it looks is
Makes
it
it
helps.
more funny.
cool. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what
But
the
yeah.
hell you're doing. This is probably one of the most popular ones on the list, I would imagine.
Yeah, join us by being alive.
Yes.
If you haven't seen this,
And quote it to your friends who will be like, dude, that movie is really old. What are you doing quoting it now?
yeah, what are you doing, dude? Fuck, man, how
I
old
know.
are you
this
now?
One, this one's
Fuck,
timeless. Timeless.
Timeless. Okay. Thank you for listening. Mission250filmcast.com is the web. Oh, wait.
Timmy.
Oh, Timmy.
Did
Timmy, do you want to read it? Where can they find us on the internet, Timmy?
What's this fucking movie you're talking about? I never heard of it, dude.
Yeah, it's a foreign film. You wouldn't like
What
it.
is your fucking quest, huh? What's your fucking quest, guy?
Imagine Timmy doing that. Yeah,
Oh.
just slap people when they
That'd
give
be
him the
good.
wrong answer.
Timmy, the keeper of the bridge.
What's your favorite color? What's your fucking color, dude? What's your favorite color?
I can see that. That's how he intimidates people when he's like about to get into a fight with him. Just grabs the collar of their shirt, slapping him across the face. What's your favorite color?
What's your fucking color,
What's
dude?
happening right
What's
now?
your
Oh my
quest?
God.
What's your favorite color?
Dude, I just wanted a beer, man. You're in the way.
Facebook and Twitter. And thank you for listening.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Later, guys.
See ya.